don't know if you saw this news that was just breaking over the day. The FBI, we found out, was authorized to use deadly force. Where? At the raid on Trump's Mar-a-lago. This was obviously due to those documents and everything that came in, but a kind of a purge of unsealed documents came from the judge recently. As going through the Judge Cannon's unsealed documents, it was revealed in there that one of the line items said, yes, FBI, if you need to go in there, you need to take care of business while you're going through a former president's home to get his documents. Sure, if you need to use deadly force, so be it.
That's right. So this comes out of the classified documents case that Jack Smith brought against the former president. And as you remember, we told you that the trial itself is indefinitely on hold, that she withdrew her order for a start date. Actually, it would have been a couple days ago if they had been following the original timeline. But now they are going through a lot of the pretrial issues that had been brought up by both defense and prosecution in this case. And as a result of that, Judge Cannon unsealed some documents that had been previously sealed, so the public couldn't see them. They were it was a motion by the defense to unseal some of these documents, and one of them happened to be the search warrant parameters for Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. And one of the items that was revealed is that they were authorized to use deadly force in the course of this search warrant. Now, the FBI comes back and they say, whoa, nothing to see here.
Right, I think that
standard operating procedure that they're authorized to use deadly force in a search warrant.
And that's the first thing I told you when we talked about this, which is likely they're going to come back and say this. This is just in those documents, as they do. Say security goes wild, something happens. Sure, they're going to give authorization to do what needs to be done. This is probably, like they say, a boilerplate, if you will, document. Now, that doesn't change the fact that, number one, they had the authorization to do it, and this even happened at all. And they were doing this to a former president of the United States. Sure, you can look at it and go, okay, is it standard operating procedure? We'll always be honest with you to have that when you're going to do this FBI raid. However, the fact that this FBI raid was even happening in the level it was happening shows just the mass hysteria gone wild.
This is a situation where the FBI was setting themselves up for a potentially catastrophic nightmare of a PR situation or just a realistic situation.
Well, we know they give the IRS deadly force. You know, right. The IRS agents, remember, they had also in their job listings, by the way, be prepared if you're an IRS agent to, you're going to go through training because, if you go, serve someone for tax issues, you got to make sure that you're packing heat and you can take care of business. That was for the IRS. Of course, for the FBI, it's going to be this way. And of course, it's going to happen to President Trump. The trial is now awaiting the jury to respond to his current situation. And thankfully, this case, we're finding out this information because this case is wrapping up.
That's right. And this goes to the political nature of this case, really. If it boils down to it, sure. Does the FBI have this language? When they serve search warrants, are they prepared to use deadly force if necessary? But you have to look at the context. The FBI chose to go in and serve a search warrant when we know that there were back and forth between attorneys and the National Archives about which documents could be had and couldn't had. We also know that as recently as weeks before this, the National Archives was still giving presidential documents over to President Trump. So in the midst of all this, after Jack Smith waited years to even potentially bring a case against the former president, they waited till it was politically an opportunistic time to not only go in and seize documents, but do it in a way, through a search warrant, in a raid, in what you would expect them to perform on maybe a cartel leader or some other violent criminal. This is a man who was the former president of the United States, has current Secret Service detail, who also is authorized to use deadly force to protect the former president of the United States. So just the fact that the attorney general and the special counsel and the director of the FBI were okay with going in to get classified documents that are in dispute, very much in dispute, in this manner is going to the heart of the absurdity and the politicization of the FBI.
I did just find out that Donald Trump responded on Truth Social about this. He put, wow, I just came out of the Biden witch hunt trial in Manhattan and was shown reports that crooked Joe Biden's DOJ in their illegal and unconstitutional raid of Mar-a-Lago, and he put that in all caps. You got to go all caps. Authorized the FBI to use deadly, lethal force. Now we know for sure that Joe Biden is a serious threat to democracy. Then, of course, they later added he is mentally unfit to hold office. That's his quote, not mine.